what happens when you try to revamp a generational movie. Find out when we talk about Space Jam: A New Legacy. Welcome to TV Party Time. I'm David, joined with Mikal and Abbie, and like I said, we're going over Space Jam: A New Legacy, the second. Well, we'll get into this, but it's not a sequel,
Right.
right?
No, it's not. It's not supposed to be a sequel.
But it is.
But it is. Yeah. It's not. Yeah. It's a little ambiguous.
It's got similar to the first one. It's got the similar plot. You have to play a basketball game to save your life, or the main character in this case, LeBron James, who's supposed to be the Michael Jordan of this generation, which is, as they say in the movie, up for debate.
Yep. Also, spoilers ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I wouldn't be able to comment on whether or not it's a sequel because I haven't watched the first one since I was like 7, so I don't
Same.
remember anything.
I probably
knew
saw
that.
it in the last year, so
Yeah.
Why?
I love it.
For no reason.
Oh man, when this movie first started, I'm like, what is going on? What am I watching? I forgot I was watching Space Jam, just because it starts out in like a computer world, and he's making it's
Mhm.
Warner Brothers making an algorithm for it went over my head what the hell was going on, but can someone explain to me what the beginning of this movie is?
Well, so there's similarities in this one and the first one because it both starts as a flashback. As the main character as a kid. The first one's Michael Jordan playing hoops outside. He's just shooting the ball.
Mhm.
And his dad's like, shoot until you miss and we'll go to bed. Flash forward, he's a pro. In this one, it's LeBron James as a kid playing basketball, and then it's all like it kind of leans into that message again of believe in yourself or like focus because he's also playing a video game as
It
a
was
kid.
the coach telling him this
Yeah.
time, not his mom, which was kind of weird. I don't know. Whatever.
Well, that's like biography of LeBron James.
Oh, okay.
But also he plays a Game Boy at the beginning,
Mhm.
which also has Bugs Bunny Castle Crashers,
Oh.
which I played the hell out of when I was little. So it's pretty cool. But yeah, and then he goes into the whole montage of him going to college, to pro, and where he's at now.
Mhm.
And it included stuff from this last season too, from the 2020 season when the Lakers won.
I haven't watched basketball since the 90s.
Yeah.
So I have no idea about anybody. I don't even know if the Goon Squad were even famous basketball players, were
Yep,
they?
they were.
Yeah,
No clue who they were.
They're all
I had
based
no
off
clue who
of-
they were either, but I thought it was pretty clear they're like real pros.
They're basing them off a lot of the players' nicknames.
Oh.
But they weren't good at all. The Goon Squad was horrible. Like the
It wasn't like the
characters
Monstars
were
either.
lame as hell,
Yeah.
in my opinion.
Yeah.
You didn't like the wet fire or whatever it was called?
Yep, Wet Fire.
What?
But so that's supposed to be Klay
Ew.
Thompson, who's one of the Splash Bros.
No
which
clue what
is
that is.
It's
Why didn't they
so
make
much
him?
basketball
Why
stuff.
didn't make him Clay? That would have made more sense. His name is Clay.
He's one of the Splash Brothers.
But-
For him and Steph Curry make threes all the time. Like they're some of the best shooters in the game. And
But you could
they
do
call
the
it
same thing with
Splashes.
Clay that you do with fire and water.
Yeah,
But it's playing off of
based off his
Splash.
nickname. Like
Okay.
Kronos is Damian Lillard. His nickname is Dame Time.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Nope. No.
No, this is adding meaning for me.
And that's
Yeah.
why it's.
Little
I
Easter
liked
eggs.
I liked it, but I liked the movie, but I understood.
You understood the
movie.
references,
Right.
right?
Okay. Yeah. I did
Outside
not.
of like the other movie
Yeah.
references, I understood the basketball references.
Gotcha. Yeah, for me it was just like quirky little things they put in a kids movie because I didn't know any
Mhm.
of that. Okay, well I appreciate that actually. I like that more now.
I don't.
All right, that's fair.
But yeah, this one. So this one compared to the first one, this one's LeBron James' kid
Yep.
Mhm.
versus Michael Jordan himself.
Right.
Or I guess LeBron James himself in this one too, but it's
More about the
It's more
kid.
about the
the
relationship with the
saving
father
the
and
kid
dad, yeah.
versus Michael Jordan being dragged down.
Now, here's my question. Did they do that because LeBron James is the worst actor of all time? And they're like, oh shit, we can't do this. Let's make it about the kid. Rewrites,
No,
rewrites everybody.
They definitely did it. It was announced in like 2011, I think, that they were going
Oh.
to do a second one.
Well, I'm talking about they switched the story from being more about LeBron to his kid because the kid is a good actor and
So-
LeBron is not at all in any way in the universe.
Here's
ever.
my thought, and also they call themselves out, which is why I
They
said
do.
Abbie would appreciate that note.
Yeah.
Because
Abbie's favorite.
LeBron calls it out. He's like, "Oh, athlete acting is a good thing." It's like, ugh.
I know.
But then
The
later-
whole scene was so cringy.
Yeah. Because then later Bugs Bunny says something about like when they're talking about playing basketball,
And he's
Does it
like,
sound
we've done
familiar?
that before, yeah.
But also that's within Bugs Bunny's character, so that's
Right,
appropriate.
exactly. I agree. I didn't mind it when Bugs did it because exactly it is in his
Mhm.
character. But having a whole scene revolving around how cringy it would be to have a professional athlete move into acting, I was just like, we don't need any of this. We
Mhm.
don't need any of this. Just go for it.
Isn't that also the entire story? Is that it's Warner Brothers, the movie studio, trying to create what is it? I honestly I don't know. I'm trying to like understand what it is. It's the algorithm
I
becomes sentient,
It was
for
already.
Warner?
It was. I think it's like a Ghost in the Machine kind of thing.
but isn't that like Abbie's favorite thing? Because the movie's calling itself out.
No,
Like
no,
movie
That's least
studios,
favorite thing.
movies.
No, I hate
create-
that.
Well, yeah, obviously.
No. Well, no. So, okay. So I see what you're saying. What you're saying is it wouldn't be calling themselves out because that's what the plot is, period.
Well, I'm saying they are calling themselves out. The whole movie, the entire movie is based off of calling itself out.
The
By
difference
movie
is
studios creating algorithms, trying to find what people like based
Oh,
off
you
of
think like
computer
as a
programs.
whole,
As a whole,
the studio is calling itself not just
yes,
the movie, but
exact-
calling out.
Yeah, calling everything that's going on out. Yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, that whole thing is just. It's annoying.
But I feel like it's in line with what Abby's favorite thing in movies is this entire plot. So I'm kind of surprised you were for it.
Where was the?
No, I mean, I definitely did like that. Did cross my mind. It was just kind of like, this is kind of cheap that this is their main plot, which is what they're doing. I definitely recognized that it was kind of cringy that the movie's plot was revolving around exactly what the movie was doing in real life, but it was specifically, if we're going to go with this narrative, we don't need to break the realism. We can just have the athlete be an actor and in real life. And so we can just pretend that this is actually happening to him in his real life. But instead, they bring it to our attention, and it's just really uncomfortable for me.
That's what like the first one was so much better is because it was the Looney Tunes who dragged Michael Jordan down. It wasn't like I think this one set up the plot too much. Everything beforehand, it set it up that he's going to be there, so he has to get in the machine somehow.
Yeah, that's true.
It was just
It wasn't
too
as
much setup.
spontaneous. Yeah,
Well, this one he's playing golf, and in the first one he's playing golf, and he gets pulled through the hole.
right.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, I think that's exactly the point that you were making earlier. Is like that's what happens when you try to recreate something. You know, the plot worked for the first time. It was wacky. It was loony. It was whatever. But this time around, it's just like forced.
Yeah, is algae a reference to something?
I think it's just algae rhythm.
That
That's all
makes
they're doing.
Sense. Okay, I wasn't sure if it was a Warner Brothers
Like
reference.
Ollie G or something.
Yeah, that's
Like,
exactly what I thought it was.
yeah.
Ali G. Yeah.
No.
Another question I have: does
Mhm.
anybody care about Looney Tunes in 2021?
Thank you. That's
I think that was a joke that they were doing when he said send him to the trash.
Mm-hmm. Well,
Like,
I'm just saying
nobody
in
cares
general.
about Looney Tunes.
Yeah, I don't like. Why is this movie being made? That was my biggest question. Like, who cares about Bugs Bunny? He hasn't been relevant forever, and I don't think this is going to change that.
Yeah, I agree. And I don't think making a joke about sending them to the trash is going to change it either.
No, that's why I think this is solely this movie was driven with nostalgia.
I didn't feel any at all.
No, but I
Honestly.
think that's what they're going for.
Yeah.
Is they're hoping that people would feel nostalgic and want to see it. Because again, so the first one, it's like I said, it's about believing in yourself.
Mhm.
This one, the meaning was like more ambiguous.
I think it was about loving your kids and giving
Accepting
people
them.
doing what they want to do and not forcing them to be you.
So yeah, like I have like 4 different things. Like it's kind of like don't have high expectations for others is like one of the messages that it had.
Don't trust
don't-
computers.
There's one where you just like it's basically don't compare yourself to LeBron James. Like you're not going to be as good as him, which is weird.
Yeah.
Or don't try and control others. But I think
to wrap it in a bow, it's just acceptance.
that's
Acceptance for
what
who they
I think
are.
the biggest one is be yourself and accept others for who they are.
Mm-hmm.
Because the whole thing, the whole
So to add on to your note, the whole
Mhm.
don't try to be better than LeBron James because it won't happen. I interpreted that as that's his specialty. Don't try to take someone else's specialty and do it. Just do what you are already a specialist
yeah,
at.
that's what I said. Be
You
yourself
know.
and accept others.
Yeah.
Yeah, and exactly. Like, don't try and make your kid be you.
But
let him find his own way. Find her own way. Maybe that's what it is.
That being said, like the first movie, it can relate to everybody. The second one, there's a father-son dynamic, which I think what they were going for is people when they first saw Space Jam, it was like 96,
Something. Yeah.
97, I think. And then so everybody's like, it was early, like, I think I was 6 years old when I saw it 400 times. But either way, like, you're a young kid then, and then a movie comes out almost 30 years later. Everybody is around that age now where they're going to have families or kids. And so I think they were trying to relate it to that generation, but also relate it to this generation at the same time, or this generation of those kids. So I think that's where they missed. Like, they should have just picked one demographic and stuck to that.
Maybe.
That's interesting, because I would disagree completely. I think the only thing this movie has going for it is that conflict and that dynamic of, like, trying to... I didn't initially read it as we were supposed to relate more to LeBron James.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I think it was, like, ambiguous.
Oh, I see.
It was, like, they were flip-flopping between generations.
It wasn't clear which generation we as LeBron
It wasn't
James...
clear who their generational demographic was. Was it kids now or us growing up in the 90s?
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
I didn't really relate to anybody because I felt like LeBron was a dick, Bugs Bunny was a dick, the bad guys were dicks, everyone's dicks. The kid's kind of a dick. I don't know.
To be fair, Bugs Bunny is always a little bit of a dick.
Yeah, he's kind of a
That's
jerk.
true to his character.
I mean, he immediately tricks that poor Martian and steals his goddamn ship.
Well, he's been doing that since the 30s.
Yeah,
so.
you got to do what you got to do, though.
It's is he racist against Martians? That's what I'm saying. Bugs Bunny's a racist.
I think they always call it's Looney Tunes, man.
Hey man, it's been what, 20 years? I think he can accept Marvin the Martian for who he is.
Is he not accepting him, or is he just
he stole a ship?
I'd say he's just
and
taking
then
advantage.
landed on top
he's
of
just
him.
taking advantage of him.
He's an asshole.
He's not discriminating. He's just taking advantage of him.
I think he's just racist against
Bugs
Martians.
Bunny, I think, is just a manipulator, which he is.
He's a sociopath. He's got a whole closet full of corpses.
Well, he has all those costumes. Where do you think you get those from?
Bugs Bunny, the serial killer.
Well, he always dressed up as a woman. He would be the barber and like always mess with Elmer Fudd.
Oh yeah, I think he's got issues. I think that's what this movie should have really brought out was Bugs Bunny's got
Bugs
problems.
Bunny is like personality issues. Like he's got like multiple personality disorders.
Yes.
Hey, there was a scene where he was wallowing in misery in the bar. He was like,
and he's
50.
a drunk.
Yeah.
And Bugs is a drunk.
Yeah, the whole tune scene was so weird. I don't know. And then it was weird.
There was a lot of weird stuff going on. Like there was even like the weird scene where everything's in black and white, but it's real, like a real film, like 20s black and white film.
Are you talking about when they're doing like the announcing?
Maybe I think that's what it was.
It's when
Yeah,
Bugs Bunny
whenever
takes over.
It's like a bit that Bugs does.
Yeah, it was a bit, but it just didn't. Without Bugs being in every part of that bit, it was weird. Whenever like there was a moment where Bugs,
and then immediately after they have a rap battle,
which
I hated so much. Oh, I added
it was
nothing.
It was, what did I write in my notes here with the rap battle?
In
Cringe.
relevance, yeah, in relevance to every other scene. Like, okay, there could be some weird, goofy scene or something, but in relation, that did nothing.
Well, not only
it
that,
added points just to add points. Like it was trying to be funny just to be funny.
Yeah. Well, not only that, but like they really could have played up his stutter more, and they really only used
They just made him beatbox.
Well, they did at the beginning. Yeah, they made him beatbox at the beginning, and then at the very end, he's like, "That's it." You know, it's like you could have they could have played with that stutter throughout the whole bit, but they didn't.
One other thing is Bugs Bunny a god, because when Bugs Bunny goes black, but he controls everything. So, is he like some weird like god where he can manipulate time and what's going on in that space?
He's like a demigod.
Yeah, is that what he is? Is that what?
Is that why he sacrificed himself?
Could be.
I mean, and then comes back into the real world, so it's like a multiverse kind of. Well, I think they're playing off the multiverse, like the server verse, which is kind of like
awkward.
very poorly.
Dude, if I got sucked into a video game and they're like, "You're never going back to reality," I'm like, "Hell yeah,
I know,
that sounds rad!" And everyone's like, "Ooh, we don't want to go back. We want to go back to work and hate ourselves."
Yeah, that's why there's so much more. Like the stakes in the first one was Michael Jordan's gonna be trapped on another planet.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on, real quick. Michael B. Jordan was a funny bit.
That was a funny bit, yeah. I thought he aged
bit.
really well.
Yeah.
And then he does a Friday Night Lights reference.
Oh, he does? I didn't even catch that.
The clear hearts or clear eyes, whatever.
Oh, okay. Sorry to cut you off.
Yeah, so the first one, the stakes are if they don't win, Michael Jordan and all of them are going to be trapped on a planet. And this one is like they're going to be trapped in everybody who's watching. is
The
going to be
cosplay
trapped.
actors.
Well,
The costume store
specifically,
Oh,
costumes.
those are terrible.
I was trying to find out what character was in there, and it was just like, it's so bad. I can't tell if that's Mr. Freeze or a zombie.
I thought that was like a Promethean,
Yeah.
like wearing Mr.
Which-
Freeze's robe.
which piece was this?
This just in the
audience when they start bringing in people from the Warner Brothers
Mhm.
verse, and they all
Mm.
have the worst costumes. It was really hard to tell who they were trying to be because the costumes were so bad. And
I don't
Mr. Freeze was like the number one because I could not tell if that was him or not. I'm thinking it was him, but I don't know.
I think it was supposed to be Mr. Freeze because there was also like Robin, Batman,
Yeah.
Mhm.
Joker. They had
the
the
Joker.
old Joker, and then the 80s Joker squad, like the henchmen. They were
Mhm.
all there too. It was a very strange grouping.
Yeah. Well, I didn't. Okay, just to get back to that one point, though, they weren't going to just be trapped in the video game forever. They were going to be trapped specifically playing basketball forever.
Yeah,
They had to just keep losing over and over.
Well, the crowd wasn't. They could do whatever they want, right?
I doubt it.
that's why it was like
No, I feel like
half-assed
the crowd.
high stakes.
It sounds
Yeah.
better than
Yeah, it's
working
still it's
the
yeah,
day job.
right.
Just saying.
I don't know, being stuck at a basketball game for all of eternity.
Also, going back on that crowd, this is why I say it's also like it is, but isn't a sequel because the original aliens are in the crowd.
I saw them. Yeah.
Which,
Oh.
if they're there, that means that it
Mhm.
is a sequel,
Hmm.
but nobody remembers it.
Could be.
And like, would
Just-
Michael Jordan have just not said anything?
I think they just didn't expect someone to have watched the original 400 times, so they didn't think anyone would notice they were in the crowd.
Well, they made them.
They're like four times.
yeah,
they're
they kept
they're
on
right
putting
there.
on them,
Yeah,
and they
they're
made
not
it
like
very
hidden.
obvious. Like these
Oh,
are
yeah, no, I remember. They were in the little drawing form, which I thought was
Yeah.
weird because everyone else is
Was
in
three-
like
was
3D.
yeah.
Yeah.
or they're like really like poorly 3D.
No, it was definitely just drawn.
Let's go back to the recruiting. I kind of loved when they were recruiting everybody and they did all the Mad
Nope.
Max,
I
Rick and Morty, the Wonder Woman. They played the good themes. They didn't play like the bad superhero themes. They played the awesome Batman theme. They played the Superman theme, and they did the Wonder Woman theme, which is I think the best of the new hero themes. I didn't like the part. I just like they played the song, and it got me amped.
Yeah, I think this movie was made just to show off intellectual property.
Yeah, I
That's
think so
it.
too. That's what
And
I
there's about
felt.
an hour of the movie
Yep.
where it's just look
Warner
at all of
Brothers.
our IPs.
Yeah.
And that is very bad filmmaking.
Yep.
Yeah, it's awkward.
It's just jerking yourself off, just like LeBron James does, or they do for LeBron James in the montage at the beginning.
Who
and
was
saying like, "Oh, he's the greatest," and this and this and it's like, okay, just move on.
who was supposed to be Mad Max in the Mad Max scene? There was someone strapped to the front, and I have no idea who that character was.
I don't remember.
Oh,
Didn't see that. I just saw
Okay.
like LeBron James with the mohawk.
Oh, no, it was Wile E. Coyote, and he's like,
Yeah.
"Witness me, witness, witness."
Oh, he was
and
supposed to be
spray-
the,
crumbed his crumb to steal out. Yeah,
That's awesome.
yeah, and he got blown up. Did anyone catch the family Dom part? The son's name is Dom, and it's all about family.
It's all about Yes.
Yes, and I was really
Yeah.
hoping that
Yeah.
Yeah, I was
Dom
waiting
would
for
show a
memes.
car or
Except
something. It's not Warner Brothers.
Fast Furious is Universal.
Yeah, I think they did. I think they totally did that. I'm just
Yeah.
totally.
Well,
did
there's
it.
so many references in this movie. Like, did you see all the planets that they actually like went to or visited? Which
Mhm.
also reminds me of Kingdom Hearts. It just-
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was.
which I was like, oh, that's kind of neat.
Mhm.
But like the ones that I saw when he's falling, it's like Game of Thrones.
Mhm,
They have a
Harry
Casablanca,
Potter.
Mhm.
Harry Potter, Wizard of Oz. I think I know that
Oh, I didn't.
there's
see the
he
Wizard
like
of
flew
Oz.
into the Twister.
Oh,
Oh,
So I think that was supposed to be a whole Wizard of Oz
yeah.
planet.
Oh,
there's
or
also a
was
Chappelle
it-
Show
Oz.
reference. If no one caught it,
Which one?
there's a Chappelle Show reference in there.
I didn't hear that. No.
I forgot what point it was. I completely. I can't think of it. I might think
Well,
of it
there's
later.
so
But-
many references. That's what I'm just
Mhm.
saying, like the planets. 'Cause
oh,
there's-
blouses. That's what it was. When they were playing basketball, it was like blouses win.
oh.
And when they were doing like some sort of competition, that was
Mhm.
in there.
Did not.
I mean,
catch
there's
that.
a bunch of one-off lines
Yeah.
that are referenced, like the planets themselves. Who like, there's a Matrix planet.
Oh yeah, the Matrix
yeah.
planet. There was the
Where Granny
Matrix
was.
guy in the crowd. With
They do the whole Matrix
Mhm.
move.
Oh yeah,
so
the whole Matrix move.
She is the one.
Well, which is it's my least favorite thing when they do a
Oh.
reference, but they do it wrong.
Yep.
Because in that reference, she's supposed to be Trinity, who is not the one.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Because in that actual scene in the movie, it's Trinity. that
I
does
just saw
that
it as a
fight.
Matrix reference. Didn't even.
It was,
catch
and
that
I
at all.
was
It
like,
was
no,
wrong.
that's wrong.
Yeah.
Because it's supposed to be Neo is the one, not
Yeah.
Trinity.
And that's another thing. It's like as I was watching and I was thinking, I was just like, there's no way kids these days are familiar enough with the Matrix to be able to
No.
catch Like,
no, like
it
a
was just
movie from like
weird.
'99.
Yeah, it was just weird. It was just really weird.
Yeah, that is weird, but yeah, who's this movie for? I think that's the biggest question.
Yeah.
This movie is for the producers who just wanted
It's just
to
to
jerk
show
themselves
off.
off.
It's just to show off IP.
Yeah.
Yeah, it definitely felt I don't know, disingenuous. Like, what's the word for that?
Yeah, it's
Disingenuous,
just
yeah.
an
Slimy.
hour of
Yeah,
like,
it's weird.
look at all of our stuff that we have on HBO Max.
Boomer story. That's
It
what I
sounds
wrote.
like someone's going through a midlife crisis up in top of the ladder, and they're just like, instead of buying a new car, they're just going through their entire portfolio and putting it into a movie.
Yeah.
Or maybe someone's getting ready to quit, and so this is like their memories of everything they've been a part of.
Oh, that's kind of sad.
Yeah.
This is my going away movie.
But
guys.
also, so did you notice Marvin the Martian ship number was A113,
No.
which is
what
the whole
that?
animation classroom where everybody like the big one that like Toy
Oh,
Story does all the
yeah.
time or Pixar does all the time. So
That's
there's
cute.
an animator or animators
Mhm.
that had something to do with this movie that were involved in that or learned from that classroom.
All I saw was Marvin the Martian being a victim of a hate crime.
Yeah, he definitely got tricked. That's for sure.
Actually going back on two things, I've one, the DC universe.
Mhm.
They make, or the DC Planet, same thing. They make Daffy
Daffy
Duck Superman.
Mhm.
Just make him Duck Dodgers.
Yep.
Like there's already
Or
something for
Darkwing
it.
Duck.
Yeah,
Or
he's
yeah.
already a superhero in like 3 different ways.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know about he wasn't Darkwing Duck.
Well, there was a Darkwing Duck.
Yeah,
He
but
could have been it.
Daffy was Duck Dodgers. Just
I don't
in
know
the
who
future.
Duck Dodgers is.
Really?
Is that like
It was a
Buck
futuristic one.
Rogers? Is that what that's
No, it was in the 23rd and 1/2 century, I think. It was
Buck
all-
Rogers. That's got to be a reference to that.
Oh, probably.
Okay.
But this is where like Marvin the Martian and all that came in. It was a show on Cartoon Network and I think
Oh.
the Hanna-Barbera or the
That's-
Boomerang Network. For a
I don't
while.
know it, so I'm guessing they maybe thought no one else would know it.
I think they were relating it to like because LeBron James like had Superman on his team, so they wanted to. Oh, look, it's Superman. Just kidding.
I did like the
They're-
recruiting. That would have been amazing if that was
Daffy.
if they actually did the whole recruiting scene instead of
Well,
just
they had-
the tunes.
They had everybody was there. Like they only
And
crossed out Batman and Superman, but then Iron Giant and King Kong were both
Mhm.
in the crowd.
And they were just like,
Yeah.
okay, we're gonna watch the game.
And there was also a Training Day reference at the end when he said King Kong doesn't have shit on me, but he
Mhm.
says King Kong doesn't have anything on me or something.
It was bad. It was cringy. They should
Yeah.
have they should have let that be their one swear word.
Well, that should have just been that one joke for the older audience.
Yeah.
Mm.
And just left it for a younger generation.
I think they had a hell in there. I think LeBron James.
Yeah,
They
it said
did.
what in the Matrix hell.
Yeah, and I was like, that was very weirdly edited in there. By the way, that editing for that specific moment was odd.
Yeah.
But
But going back to the other thing that I want to bring back was Fast and Furious. Do you know who the original director was?
Nope.
No.
Justin Lin, who directed Fast 9. He
should've
left
done it.
he left this project to direct Fast 9 and then Fast 10.
Great
That's
move. That was the
hilarious. Yeah.
career move
Oh,
right there.
Which like I read down the trivia because it was like something like references, and then it said like an Easter egg. It was like, oh yeah, was Justin Lin left to go direct Fast 9? Like that makes so much sense and
Mhm.
good for him.
Yeah, for real.
Oh, my favorite character in the whole movie is LeBron's assistant.
Oh, Malik.
Yeah, he's hilarious. He just
I
makes
thought
me
that was
laugh.
his cousin.
I don't
Yeah, I
know
thought it
who
was
he
his
was. I
cousin.
thought he was like the handler.
I
Yeah, he
wasn't
said
sure if he
Uncle.
was- yeah, I
he said
wasn't sure
Uncle
if he was
Malik
supposed
at
to
one
be-
point in time.
I don't
wasn't
think
sure-
he's a family
Oh,
member.
but you don't know if it's.
I wasn't sure if he was
necessarily
supposed to be like a handler or an assistant, or if he was already with the studio.
Yeah, it was kind of. I'm just gonna go with handler. That's what it reminded me of. Like the guy who keeps track of where he is in all points of time, and
Mm-hmm.
he made me laugh. Every scene he was in was funny to me.
But he was like kind of. I think they're like trying to play him up to be the Bill Murray of this movie because in the first one, Bill Murray shows up and helps win
Oh,
the fourth quarter in
Mhm.
in Toon World. But
that's
then-
right. That happens because I did not
Yep.
realize that.
So I thought they were gonna make him be the Bill Murray character
Oh.
because they're copying everything else from the movie.
They should have had Michael Jordan come back.
That would have been cool.
I think they should have went that route.
Or
Yeah.
like,
But ego wouldn't
or
allow
pay
it.
like a little nod to it or
Yeah,
something. Like
just-
have
Uh-huh.
Michael Jordan in the scene, like watching. He's like, oh, I don't want to watch
Or
this.
had Michael B.
something.
Jordan play.
Yeah.
Why didn't they do? It was funny to have him there, and if he would have been there and played, it would have been, I think, way funnier. I don't know.
Yeah.
Just I think so.
My favorite character was Pete
Pete,
because
yeah,
he was cute.
yeah,
Which one was? Oh, the little.
The little blue
little
guy.
robot, yeah,
He's so cute. And they show his jacked up teeth at one
Yeah,
point.
He,
so
he
love
used to be
that.
ugly.
Yeah.
And made him cute. He does that smile.
That goofy smile.
As bad as it was, there was some really funny parts.
It's. The worst part of the movie was the plot.
Yep. Yes.
You mean the most important part?
Yes. Like, I enjoyed the movie for... I had zero expectation. I expected it to be worse than it actually was.
I had
I
no
did-
expectations.
I did not expect anything, and then the first 20 minutes, if I could just get through it, I was like, okay, fine. And then I got invested in the conflict with LeBron and his son. And I don't know if it was just because I had a stressful morning or if it's just my time of the month, but I was crying. I cried. Okay, I admit it. I cried. I was like, oh, please let your dad accept you for who you
I
are.
think you're the only person to cry for...
I think I was the
Yep.
only one who cried. I cried a lot, but I think that was largely just the stress of my life.
I cried when it
Bled-
finally
bled
ended out of
into it.
joy.
Phrasing, please.
Yeah. So anyway, I loved Pete, and I'm really happy that his dad does accept him for who he is, and he even changes teams.
Well, Dom.
Dom, yeah.
I
It's all
don't.
about family.
I'm
Well,
not sure
You
he's-
went from Pete to Dom.
It didn't seem like
no,
he
I love
accepted him.
Pete, and I love that.
But also...
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
It didn't seem
Mhm.
like he accepted him because the acting was so bad that I couldn't tell there was a difference in the character whatsoever besides the words that came out of his mouth. LeBron James can't act. I'm saying
The
it
only time...
40
Well, we
times.
all know. Nobody's arguing that point
They've
at all.
already told us that in the movie.
Like, the only, like, times that were, like, kind of authentic was when he was being goofy.
Yeah.
I agree.
But
for
it's
the
like when he
most part,
when he
yeah.
was trying to portray emotion, like it's like, okay, just move to the next line, move to the next line. But like when he was being goofy or celebrating or doing stuff with the tunes, like when he made the funny face when he came out of for the second half,
Mhm.
like it
It felt natural.
more genuine.
Yeah.
But then even when he was on the court, like it felt more genuine. But it's anything before that, it was like, okay.
Yeah.
The rules also made no sense. Even for like thing that makes no sense, they went even more making no sense
Well,
off the rails with
like,
the rules of what happened
There
in the
were
game.
so many moments when, okay, so for example, the whole first half of the game, the Goon Squad is just dominating,
Mhm.
and like anytime they go to anytime the Tunes go to score, you know, the Goon Squad comes and does something to, you know, reroute the ball or whatever. And then all of a sudden, they stop doing those things to defend, and they just start letting them score. And I'm just like, they're not doing anything new. They're still like there were moments where Lola, is that her name? Lola,
Mhm.
Lola Bunny.
Lola Bunny. She was still just like doing normal shots. She wasn't doing anything
Mhm.
fancy. And like all of a sudden, the Goon Squad stops trying to defend. I don't know. It's just like, why?
Well, that's what it's like. So in the first one,
The first half, you mean?
in the first Space
Oh, first
Jam,
jam. Okay.
Michael Jordan's whole thing is MJ's secret stuff, which is his water bottle that has secret juice in it that makes him good at basketball, and so that's how they were like keeping up in the first half, and then they were losing a lot. And then like the pep talk in the second half, I think, I mean, it may be a little bit out of order, but then the next one was like, "You guys are Tunes, act like it."
Mm.
So that's where the whole be yourself or believe in yourself, like believe in yourself being a Tune in the first one,
Mm-hmm.
and they started acting like Tunes, and so that's where they were able to win. So I think they were playing off of that in this one.
Oh no, I get that. I liked
Oh.
that. No, what I'm saying is suddenly the other team stops being.
Oh, they put like the emphasis
Yeah.
on how easily they were able to stop them.
Yeah,
from
it's like they
scoring.
just stop defending. Period.
I
And
think,
it's just
I think
like
I know why. Lazy writing.
no.
I think
I
that
don't
could
think
be
this
it.
is lazy
No.
writing. I think it's just
Okay,
they're
but
writing for kids, so they're not going to make it as
yeah.
in
But
depth.
They literally just stopped playing in the second half, the Goon Squad, because they
It's
scored.
true.
I don't even think they scored again.
No, they really didn't.
No, they didn't.
But are you trying to tell me that you didn't enjoy the moment where LeBron's going for that last point and he's a little bit short, and so Dom frisbees the power up and it lands perfectly on his foot, so he has that extra boost to get the
You
point?
know, it's in that scene. I thought he was gonna pass the ball to his son so his son could shoot the
I was
three-pointer to
thinking-
win.
Well, they didn't have time.
Why?
They only had like 6 seconds left on the
He
clock.
was 6 seconds in the air, like, "Roll."
Well, what I thought they were going to do is just move the goal like they did the other
Yeah,
time.
yeah.
I expect him to like throw something at the net or at the backboard and push it to go under him or something
Even
like
before the
that.
dunk, he could have passed to his kid. But no, he's such an egomaniac. I think that's what this whole movie's trying to say. LeBron James only loves himself. Is that he went for that point instead of letting his son win.
I don't think it was that. I think it was like supposed to be a thing like he's
It wasn't
underst-
that. I'm making
yeah.
a joke.
I mean, you're not entirely wrong though. Like most of the movie is about jerking himself off. And
Yeah.
he's the best, and he's a once in a generational talent and all this sort of stuff. But I think it was like supposed to be like where LeBron is accepting his son and learning about his son's game instead of trying to make his son learn about basketball.
But I don't know how he's learning how to play the game when
He's learning how to
playing it.
He's learning how to.
I don't know.
He's learning how. Well, this is what I got. Like, I think that's supposed to be like the character development for LeBron is to not take it so seriously and to like see that there are other enjoyable elements.
Have
that,
fun.
Yeah, like
Right.
to have fun.
Yeah, they kept bringing that up too.
So
Yeah.
I think that was that. That's why that was the way that was.
I think the thing that distracted me the most was LeBron James has the best looking shoulders for like a normal person.
He was an NBA player, so
Yeah,
they all have just
well, just
perfectly
him and-
boulder shoulders.
I know they look awesome.
Boulder shoulders.
Yeah, and I'm just watching like, man, I want to get those shoulders. Those
I just
want to
play basketball just to have shoulders like
Amazing shoulders.
an NBA player.
Yeah, and it's like for a tall guy, it's hard to desire a perfect frame because you can't really pack on a lot of muscle. Well, me, because I'm tall and skinny, and just getting that like mid good looking body frame was just like, man,
Well, like
he's got it.
he's also spends millions of dollars on his body on like recovery and all that. It's like a huge like known thing
Oh yeah,
in the
Reco-
basketball world.
recovery,
then.
meaning like physical therapy or.
cryotherapy.
Yes, he
Oh.
does a lot of cryotherapy, spending on like personal trainers and personal cooks.
Has
Oh,
anyone ever done
sure.
cryotherapy?
No, I'm
Mm-mm. It's
scared.
It's pretty awesome.
I actually just went to the
It's
sauna
cold.
for
I
the
wanna
first
try it.
time.
Yeah, it's pretty affordable, and it's like you go there and you're like, all right, you're gonna stand in this tube for 3 minutes. You're like, oh, I got this. 5 seconds in, you're like, why did I do this? This is a terrible mistake.
Yeah,
the whole
that
time it
sounds
doesn't feel
horrible.
good,
No.
but it's so cold, and you're just standing there in your underwear with these gloves and mittens and,
And those
bootsies
boots.
on.
Yeah, so they don't get frostbite in your fingers and
Yeah,
toes.
and
That
it just
sounds
it's cold.
miserable.
But then you
No.
feel really good afterwards. You're like,
Yeah.
oh man, my back doesn't hurt. Oh, it hurts again.
I want my pillow to feel like that. Like
Yes.
in the middle of the night when I
Oh,
flip my
yeah.
pillow over to the
Oh,
cool side, I want it to feel like cryotherapy.
I don't really have much more to
Now,
add.
is there
Do you
any
guys?
last thoughts that we have?
Nope.
No? We can go on and goddamn rate this goddamn movie.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna go first. I'm gonna go with
Okay.
I'm giving it 2 producers who don't know how to turn a computer on out of 10.
Okay, Abby.
I'm gonna give it. I'm gonna give it 4.5. Specifically tailored for LeBron James cryotherapy tubes out of 10.
All right, and I'm giving a 6.6 outdated meme sayings out of 10.
Nice.
Yep.
All right. Thanks for listening. Don't forget to like us on our socials.
We have, obviously, wherever you're listening to this podcast on. Also, YouTube. Use YouTube TV Party Time. Instagram at TV Party Time Pod or TV Party Time. Either way, look up TV Party Time Pod and you'll find it wherever.
And soon we're gonna have video. We forgot to
Oh, yeah,
mention
that's
that.
right.
Anyway, okay. Have a great day. Or
Yep.
else.
Or else we'll send
The Goon
the
Squad
Goon
after you.
Squad after you. Arf, 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 arf.